to the adventures of the Benitez bus. We're having a lot of fun. We're making quite a fuss. Shanita is the mom, Bernardo is the dad. Maya and Zoe will surely make you glad. Welcome to our family vlog. Welcome to our family vlog. Welcome to our family vlog. This is the Benitez bus.
Hey B-Fam, welcome back to the Benitez Buzz. Today I'm going to show you how I wash and detangle Maya's hair. Maya has a bunch of different grades of hair on her little head. At the top, it's different. It's more of like a 4A, and then towards the middle, it's more like a 4B, and then the sides and the back is more like a 4B, 4C. I've always had a really hard time figuring out how to manage her hair, especially when it comes to washing it. So hopefully this video will be helpful to anyone else out there who has a lot of different grades of hair that they have to deal with. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So this is Maya's hair at the end of the day after being at daycare with her friends all day. As you can see, it's very frizzy and dry. She just had 2 puffballs for the day. So I'm just going to go ahead and take her hair ties out of her hair now so we can get started. After I take the hair ties out of her hair, I just like to take my hands and go through her hair, just separating it before I put any water or product in her hair. I'm being very gentle when I do that. I'm not pulling too hard because, like I said, her hair is very dry and a little brittle at this point before we start the wash process. So I'm just being really gentle, but just separating the hair as much as I can with my hands. I feel like this makes it easier for the water to actually get down to her scalp and everything because Maya does have very, very thick hair. So I do this for a little bit before I apply water for the first time to her hair. So this is what her hair looks like after I've gone through it just with my hands for a couple minutes with it all pulled out. So I'm going to go ahead and apply water now with my handy dandy pitcher from my kitchen. And the first time I apply water, I do use just the bath water from her bathtub, but I only use the bath water this first time. After that, I use fresh water. So I just take the bath water and put it in the pitcher, and then I just apply it to her hair and really try to make sure her whole head completely gets wet, and it gets wet down to her roots. So I have to apply water to it a few times for all of her hair to just become saturated with water. So now her hair is completely wet, and I kind of just take my fingers again and go through it to make sure there isn't any huge matting, and if I do find some, I just add a little bit more water and just continue to use my fingers to try to get that out. I don't want any huge matting in her hair when I apply product to her hair, so again, I'm not necessarily fully detangling it, but I'm using my hands and adding more water just to make sure there isn't any big matting in her hair before I apply any product to it. the ASIAM coconut co-wash is my choice for her. It has a good texture to it. It's not too watery, and at this point I just apply it to her hair. I start by applying it to her scalp, to the root of her hair, and I kind of work down to the ends of her hair, and I always make sure I'm doing it in an outward, downward motion. I never scrunch up her hair to her scalp or her head. I always make sure I'm going down, and that helps with not causing more tangles in curly hair since it's so prone to get tangled. I just always make sure I'm going in that downward motion. So now that her hair is completely covered with the co-wash and I can go through it with my fingers, I'll go ahead and rinse it for the first time. And for the first rinse, I am using the fresh water from the faucet of the bathtub. Since she's so little now, I can just get her to kind of hold her head underneath the water for me to rinse out all of the co-wash, and I make sure I get all of that out really well before I go on to the next step. I love the leave-in or rinse out conditioner because it's really versatile, and I need things to be very versatile when I have kids, and sometimes I have a lot of time and sometimes I don't. So I'm just applying this through her hair now, and I kind of break it off in sections to make sure I get it all through her hair, all the way starting again with the roots and going in that downward motion, and I just apply that all over her hair. I start detangling with this wide tooth comb with the conditioner hair, and this time I start with the ends of her hair. I comb those out first, and then I work my way up towards the root of her hair until the comb can pretty much go through her hair without getting stuck in any big tangles. After that, I use the Curve Naturals detangling brush, and I again start with the ends of her hair and just kind of work my way through that in sections, and I work my way up to the root of her hair. I let the conditioner sit in her hair for a few minutes, and then I rinse it out again with fresh water from the faucet of the bathtub. And this is the last rinse that I do in the washing and detangling process that I do for her hair. And so I kind of just take my fingers again, going through her hair and making sure the water gets all of the product out. After I rinse out her hair, sometimes, not every time, I like to add the restorative leave-in conditioner to her hair and just kind of work that in with my fingers. And I will leave all of the products that I use in the description down below. Thanks guys for watching. See you next time. Bye.